Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Will on Safety. This morning, I thought I would talk about leading by example, and that's really the key point here. Is we should be leading and demonstrating example to employees. What happens in a lot of workplaces are, at the beginning of the year when we're setting out our safety goals, management will set out a precedent. I want zero accidents. I want people wearing their PPE. I want people following, the processes, the procedures that are in place from the company. But a lot of the time, that verbalized message goes in, may be remembered for a couple of days, and then it'll be forgotten. And what really is going to drive, that good ethos of following procedures, making sure we're working in line with work instructions, wearing that protective personal equipment, is what employees see around them. So when we talk about leading by example, we need to expect and hold to account our management teams, our team leaders, our supervisors, as well as shop floor employees, when they're found to be in contravention, of those rules. So we're walking the shop floor and somebody hasn't got their hearing protection in, or haven't got their, safety glasses on. If we see that, we need to start pulling people up for it. And it shouldn't be the managers are on the shop floor, I better pull him up or her up. It should be something that we just do as a matter of course because it's the right thing to do. And the flip side of that as well, sometimes in workplaces, in the military, on a factory shop floor, in an aerospace factory, any workplace, there's very much, or there can be, this us and them. And that kind of develops if, a shop floor employee is treated differently than a manager for the same contravention. So let's take an example of, safety glasses being on top of the head and not over the eyes, for example, when they're on the shop floor in a mandatory, eye protection area. The outcome should be the same. Initially there should be that conversation. Come on, it's a mandatory eye protection area. The reasons for it being so are this. Let people know the why. Why is it a mandatory, eye protection area? Oh, we've had a lot of incidents. We've had a lot of near misses. We've had a couple of accidents where, dust has blown into people's eyes, where, ejected materials from pillar drills or whatever you might be working on have been, thrown into people's eyes. This is why the area is a mandatory, eye protection zone, and we expect you to wear, those safety glasses. But you need to treat people in the same way. If you have a zero tolerance policy on something, it should be zero tolerance for both the shop floor employees and the management team as well, because that's how you build good safety culture. That's how you show to both the management team and the shop floor employees that safety is important and there will be no tolerance for anybody for any contravention of those rules. If you go soft on a manager because they're a manager, the message is lost. And that just shows that there's a divide in the company and it's it's one rule for us and one rule for them. And you don't want to get into that place. You want to build a positive safety culture where anybody can go up to anybody. A shop floor employee should be able to go up to the managing director of the company if they're in contravention of the rules and say, excuse me, sir, this is a mandatory eye protection area. Can you put your protective glasses on? This is a protective footwear area. Can you make sure you've got safety boots on? And if you are, in charge of the company, if you are a senior manager, you should be expecting that of your employees. That's where you should want to get to, where, there's no fear of repercussion for picking up a manager. People aren't infallible. People, sometimes forget to do the right thing. I've gone on the shop floor before and had my safety glasses on my head, and I've been pulled up by an employee, and I've took them to one side and gone, thank you for that. I wasn't doing the right thing, and well done to you for picking me up. It's really important that we get everybody leading by example. All right, it's set from the top, and it should be a top-down policy. You should see the MD, managing director, walking around the site in all of their personal protective equipment. You expect to see it from all the managers. Okay, if you expect to see it from the management teams, the team leaders, the supervisors, the shop floor can expect that it's an important thing and they need to be complying with it as well. If they see managers, supervisors, team leaders, the managing director, for example, walking about and they're not adhering to the rules, well, that just shows them that it's not important, and we don't want to get there. Empower people to pick people up. Empower people to do the right thing. Empower people to have those safety conversations, because if we do that, it just becomes natural. And then instead of being the norm when you walk out onto the shop floor and people have got safety glasses on their head, management are, on there in, non-safety footwear and stuff, it becomes the exception. And the exception, isn't acceptable in the workplace. And it's very easy then to have that safety conversation, rectify the situation, and get back to that really good safety mechanism that you've got within your workplace. There are a couple of really good reasons why leading by example is a good thing to do. It can boost employee morale, for example. Right, a great leader knows their actions influence people. Okay, you're there setting an example, you're setting a precedent, you're picking people up, you expect the same from your shop floor employees. It's going to boost employee morale. Do you know what? This company's looking after me, I'm going to do the right thing. My colleague that's not, I'm just going to go have a safety conversation with them. It inspires people. Okay, secondly, it builds trust and respect. It gets rid of this us and them mentality. If everybody's doing the right thing, that's the expectation. If somebody's not, have a safety conversation with them, regardless of whether they're a manager or more senior to you. Okay, and if you can do that, it builds the trust. Do you know what? I'm not going to get into trouble if I raise a concern. It fosters a positive work culture. If everybody's doing the right thing, and then somebody comes, maybe it's a customer, maybe it's just a visitor, okay, people are empowered to go, sorry sir, sorry madam, you can't come in here, without safety glasses on, without this, that and the other. And your workforce know that you're going to have their back. They're not going to get into trouble. Okay, it increases productivity. It's easier for teams to be productive when they see the leader working hard, keeping commitments, following the rules. Okay, if we don't lead by example, there are examples of what can happen if we don't. Low work ethic. If you don't set a good example, all right, one of the first things to go is work ethic. Oh, well, it's not that important. They're not bothered about safety. They're not bothered about me. I'm not really bothered about the company. Okay, low morale. Yeah, if we create this division by, it's one set of rules for us, one set for them, okay, it's going to decrease morale. Why should I do the right thing? I'm going to get told off anyway. I'm going to get bollocked anyway. Whenever I try and raise a concern, I'm getting, picked on. I get extra work. I get a bollocking, whatever it might be. All right, so it's going to lower morale. That's not a good place to be. Yeah, there might be a higher turnover rate, higher turnover of people. Yeah, in negative safety culture environments, the turnover's higher. That might be through, people becoming depressed with work, go find something better. That could be with people getting seriously injured. So there's a higher turnover of folks. Inefficient systems, yeah, remember what we were saying, work instructions, policies, procedures, processes, PPE requirements. Yeah, if leaders aren't leading by example and making sure they're adhering to all the rules, if supervisors and team leaders aren't keeping on top of their areas, if the general workforce aren't setting that example to other colleagues, especially new colleagues that come into the business, it's going to equate to inefficient systems. Okay, maybe they're not following the procedure. That can have an effect on quality. Maybe your quality takes a dip. There's going to be more accidents. There's going to be more near misses. Machines aren't going to run as efficiently. So it's really important. It can lead to inefficient systems if we don't do it. More workplace accidents goes without saying. Yeah, if we're not wearing our PPE, following our work instructions, following them policies and procedures, it can lead to more near misses, which in turn is going to lead to more workplace accidents. And finally, it's going to cause a lack of respect. And this is what we were saying earlier on. For those companies that have a top-down approach and the managing director holds everybody to account, managers, shop floor employees, and sets that precedent, lives that precedent, walks the walk and talks the talk, okay, and deals with people in the same manner, that's going to increase trust and respect. However, if they're not, you do this because I'm telling you to, you do this, don't worry about what I'm doing, all that's going to happen is it's going to cause lack of trust and lack of respect. They don't really care about us. It's one set of rules for them, one set for us. Really important that we set a good example and we live that example. There's a great saying, it's, lead by example and don't be the example, if it's a bad one. So I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know your thoughts, leave me a comment below. Okay. If you haven't already, then like, share and subscribe to the Will on Safety community. It's free to do. It helps me grow my community. I'm going to keep posting things like toolbox talks, general safety discussions. There's loads of good stuff on there. So if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. It is free. It helps me grow. And if you'd like any other videos, let me know. But until next time, folks, remember, stay safe by choice and not by chance. Take care and bye for now.